Hello and welcome to the Fort Scott High School Tiger eSports week number 2 of preseason. I'll be taking you through the first game today as we get started here with Strongholds. The objective of Strongholds is you have 3 points spread across this beautiful map known as Live Fire, with the objective of grabbing each point and holding the points for the longest. You will see a few graphics move around on your screen today as I try to get everything updated and ready for normal season. Already, Canton Dean taking someone out, getting us started on a good little drive here. Red side will be equivalent to purple, and blue side is equivalent to yellow if you have any questions about that. As for who our starting roster is today, Canton Dean, SEK country guy. Monkey Rider, the new freshman to the team, to our red team. He is there we go, freshman this year. That is Devlin Cole. Joe Fulk, of course, the OG, who continues to return, even though we may not always want him to. He's still on the team. And rounding it off is Luke Majors. He's also a senior this year. Score currently 35-0 in favor of the Fort Scott Tigers. Just a few more graphics that shall be sliding around a little bit, and we will be good to focus. Alrighty, looks like we will slide over to the correct players. We're on board with Luke Majors as he takes out It's Shonka from McKinley High School. Luke moseys his way over to Charlie Point. He has a few players to his left and right. However, he continues to defend it as Joe Fulk saves him there. That is your Fort Scott Tigers with Bravo and Charlie captured. 86-0 is your score. Alpha still covered by Cobra team known as McKinley High School. And we are on board with Canton Dean now. Canton Dean's current stats: he has 1 kill, 1 death, and 1 assist. Canton runs on into the Charlie Point to take back the coverage. Does get taken down. However, we do still have Fort Scott Tiger players there. Now we're on board with Joe Fulk, who just captured Charlie. Your Fort Scott Tigers have all 3 points covered and will continue to dominate this game. Current score 134-0. Fort Scott Tigers are going to need 250 points to win this one. However, we are on track to do so with only 3 minutes so far in the round. Now on board with freshman Devlin Cole as he attempts to take some long shots. Does end up taking down It's Shonka as they return the favor. We'll hop on board with Luke Majors as he's beginning to protect Alpha. He meets up with Joe Fulk, and it looks like the team is regathering to begin a recapture. Luke Majors with his trusty dusty sniper, as he has pretty good aim normally with it. As I say that, he gets shot. Looks like the Tigers are currently trying to contest Alpha Point, but it is not going to work out for our Tigers. Alpha and Bravo both attempting to be captured by McKinley. McKinley will grab all 3 points as they finally get some scores on the board. New score 161-17 with McKinley making up points. On board with Canton Dean currently as he's in what we call Death Valley, the main hallway of this map. Canton Dean gets taken down. We'll hop on board with an alive teammate, preferably. We'll hop on board with Luke Majors as he dives on into Alpha to take over Alpha. Looks like the Tigers will approach from the south side now, trying to sneak in behind. Kind of a rotation, some would say. But the Tigers currently do have Brava and Charlie covered, with us pretty close to grabbing Alpha here. And the Tigers are now responsible for all 3 stronghold points across the map as McKinley attempts to grab Bravo. However, it is contested by Luke Majors of the Fort Scott Tigers. Currently, Alpha and Charlie are covered by the Tigers. As I say that, it switches over. We got Alpha Bravo now. Charlie is currently contested. That's who we're watching Mr. Luke Majors capture that back. Tigers are now responsible for all 3 points across the map. As we slide over to SEK Country Guy, that's Canton Dean. He will go and try to attempt to get a little bit of coverage here on McKinley High School's eSports team here as they attempt to hold the Charlie point, or Alpha point. However, it is not exactly working for them, as we can clearly see. Canton Dean and across a map fire there with no scoping. Clearly didn't work out for Canton as we slide over to Joe Folk as we are just 5 points away from taking round number 1 of the Fort Scott Tigers eSports preseason week number 2 for our Halo Red team. For those of you who may be wondering, if you were wondering where do I watch the blue team play? Blue team went home today as they were given a bye by the High School Esports League. Blue is now 2-0 on the season and is currently ranked number 4 in the nation. Your Fort Scott Tigers will grab Alpha. Almost got Charlie there. However, it is contested by McKinley High School. Tigers are just in need of 5 more points to go ahead and capture round number 1. Once again, we are on board currently with Devlin Cole, the freshman from the Fort Scott High School Red Halo team. Just 1 more point is needed as we capture both Bravo and Charlie. That's 2 points, or 2 stronghold points, and that will gain us the win. Your Fort Scott Tigers for preseason week number 2 have once again done it as they capture round number 1 of the series. Keep in mind this is a best of 5 series and the best competitor will have to continue to ensure that they are on their best game no matter how many rounds they have won before or if they got demolished after. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at your stats here as we get them lined up, or hopefully we do here. There we go. We'll check out Luke Majors first with 9 captures of stronghold points. Slide down to Mr. Devlin Cole, the freshman on the team, who is lower in grade than any of those on the team, who happens to have the most captures on the team. Also, we have Folk 22, that's Joe Folk there, is senior at Fort Scott High School with 6 captures, and junior SEK Country Guy, that's Canton Dean. Next up for our game modes, we'll switch over to Slayer. While you guys are away, we're going to update some things, but enjoy this quick commercial break, and I will be right back with you.
Welcome to all. Can you talk about that now? Flashbang comes out with a dual rush down. I don't think we've ever in esports had a crowd like this. So
I've seen eSports and the E-League. I don't know if that's sports, but it's great mind savvy.
But I don't know if athlete is the right word that I would go for.
If you don't break a sweat, I don't consider it a sport.
Oh, no, you do.
Watching people play video games isn't like watching people play football. It's like watching people play fantasy football. It is one more step removed from human activity. You understand?
It's video games. It shouldn't be on a sports network. It's video games.
But can it truly be a spectator sport?
It already is. 71 million watched it last year. They reckon it's going to, by 2017, it'll be 145 million people watching it.
They're actually giving college scholarships for video gaming.
You're kidding.
And it's even gone to the point that now the government has acknowledged professional video gamers as athletes.
Same way you'd watch a football match, you can hear the crowd, everyone's cheering the team on, you make friends, these are people you talk to, you play with online. It's all about community, it's being part of something that you're incredibly passionate about.
Running for Barrett though right now, trying to establish vision control and force Ambition! Ambition steals the Elder Dragon! He gets away! He survives! This is a 4-Drake Elder Dragon! He lives! Ambition saves the game once again!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back as we get ready for Streets on Ranked Slayer. The Fort Scott Tigers last season did a very good job with Slayer, as killing was somehow one of our best strategies we had. Tigers this year, under the direction of Coach Ruddick, have begun to focus a bit more on strategy, so it's going to be an interesting game today to see how our Tigers pull through. Your starting roster has not changed, however, we seem to have a few quick problems as the Wild West fella, who is part of the McKinley High School team, has switched over to the observer role. Seems they're having some issues with their game client connection, so it may be a little bit of a delay here. As we had kind of said before, it seems that the other team's having a few problems with their player roles. However, this is a pretty common issue here in the High School Esports League as people begin to get into preseason. But that is kind of, I guess, the point of preseason. I would give you a shot at our scoreboard here and check out some stats, but, well, I don't think there's going to be many stats. No kills issued, no captures issued, no anything issued. We'll slide on back to our main lobby, and we will get our game on for you. Looks like our players for McKinley High School got assigned to the correct team this time around. So you will get the full experience as we begin round number 2. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to round number 2 as I push some cool little graphics on your screen because, you know, we're high production here, high budget. We'll get ready for Slayer on the map known as Streets. The Fort Scott Tigers are generally pretty good at streets. Places we are really good at is the hallways on the very far sides of the map. As for Slayer, I'm not sure what their strategy they will choose today is. I know typically with Oddball, they choose that corner that would be actually to the left of Canton Dean here, but they will get grouped up here, and we shall begin the slaying. Just to let you know, purple is your Fort Scott Tigers, and your McKinley High School will be the yellow. 1-1 score now as we watch Mr. Devlin Cole, who is typically the oversight guy for the Tigers, as he pulls off an awesome shot against Wild West 7617 of the McKinley High School. Tigers currently up 4-2. That's 5-2 now. Great job, Devlin Cole, as he takes down Real Snooze. We'll hop on board with our senior team captain. That's Joe Folk. Joe attempts to laser dice CNC router, one of the other members of the team. Joe holds up to his reputation by throwing another grenade into himself. We'll hop on board with Joe Folk, with Luke Majors, as he's holding the staircase here. Luke pulls off a great shot against Shaka. You see once again Luke making some long-range shots there against the McKinley High School eSports team. Luke generally a pretty good player when it comes to his long-range aim, and generally has a pretty good flick speed. We'll hop on board with Devlin Cole, the freshman for the Fort Scott Tigers, as he attempts to take on all 4 members of McKinley High School at once. Tigers will regroup here in the middle as Devlin attempts to slide around. A great benefit of knowing your maps well is exactly that. You can rotate around when the other team thinks you're somewhere, you're right behind them. We'll hop on board with Canton Dean, as once again, like we talked at the beginning of the game, we're doing pretty well in the hallway here. Canton gets ambushed by 2 of the McKinley players, but will end up taking out one of them. Let's see if we can pull off 2, and we got our 2. Joe Folk there with him to help, but it's Shaka who sneaks around the back and gets him down. Back on the left hallway here, or I guess you could say the west hallway, as we have some conflict going on in a tight space. Joe Folk, he has his rocket launcher, at least that's what I call it. Joe Folk notorious for his rocket launcher skills, as last year, I believe over half of his seasonal kills were completed with a rocket launcher. Joe Folk showing off his long-range no-scopes, as he takes down Wild West. 2 kills there for Joe Folk. Joe Folk just waiting to be able to pull out that rocket launcher. He does it once again, and that's Real Snooze gone by Joe Folk. Joe Folk continues his little rampage here as he meets up with one of the McKinley players in a room and immediately takes him down off of the jump. That's Blue Ghost now down. Current score 28-15. Still on board here with Joe Folk as the yellow McKinley High School begins to regroup themselves and strategize a little better here, but we're now going to hop on board with Luke Majors as he slices and dices. Well, actually, he'll pull out a shotgun and get knocked out. We'll hop on board with Joe Folk now. Actually, Devlin Cole just takes down 2 players, both It's Shaka and Real Snooze, in the only hallway that there is yellow players in currently. McKinley will get a chance to regroup now, and they will use it. They choose one room to stay in here, and that is a common strategy we've seen against a lot of the teams that we've met, and it will kind of work out for them as we drop 3 of their players down. 36-20 is your current score, 7 minutes left of the game. We typically don't end up hitting the time limit, but if we do, the time you can watch is on the bottom of your screen there. We'll hop on board with Luke Majors here as he provides oversight for the Fort Scott Tigers Halo Red team. Quick reminder that your Tigers are 1-0 on the season, or your Halo Red Tigers are 1-0 on the season. They grabbed a win last week, a pretty hard-fought win actually, as we ended up going to round number 5. Looks like Luke is going to do a great job taking out Wild West. Once again, Luke is generally a very good oversight player along with Devlin, and that is a great combination as Canton and Joe are typically more aggressive and more the front runners of the group. Once again, Luke Majors showing off his long-range skills as he takes down Blue Ghost. It's Shaka taken down by Luke Majors. Tigers will regroup a little bit here. They're going 2 on each side. Or sorry, now 3 on each side. 3 on the side. Looks like McKinley attempted to make their regrouping there in that room that they attempted earlier, but it did not work out for them. Your Fort Scott Tigers will take the win for round number 2 of Slayer. Tigers, once again, are a very aggressive team when it comes to a lot of our killer-based or killing score-based games, such as Slayer. We'll get you a quick look at the stats as we slide over to the next game mode, which will be Oddball. See if we can get some of these stats loaded up here. Looks like our top killer for today will be Luke Majors. Right behind him is Joe Folk. And bringing up the back, one of our oversight players, that's Devlin Cole with 9 kills. And that is SEK Country Guy, who is Canton Dean. We'll get you a map assignment here pretty quick for our next round, known as Oddball. The objective of Oddball is to ensure that you hold a ball for the longest. It is a little skull that you will see them throw. Sometimes you'll see them do weird stuff like drop it, throw it, super duper fast, and that is actually a legitimate strategy. So, if you are interested in any of the strategies like that, you can check out our YouTube page, which has a lot of our VODs and gameplays. But we will be right back with you as we get our next game mode set up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like McKinley High School will have to go at 6. They may possibly have another game plan or something like that tonight. But guess what? That means your Fort Scott Tigers are now 2-0 on the season for both of our Halo teams. As for Halo Blue, they have had either forfeit or bye round both rounds now. They will be ranked probably about 4th in the nation, I believe. As for your Fort Scott Tiger Halo Red team, which typically would be referred to as our varsity team, they are currently going to be 5th in the nation with a record of 2-0. Special thanks to McKinley High School for providing a fun and awesome fair game today, and we truly appreciate when our opponents are able to work with us and stuff like that, especially when it comes to time constraints, and I really do appreciate them being fair. Special thanks to High School eSports League for providing us this game today as we begin to round off our evening. If you want to check us out tomorrow, don't forget we have Valorant Red and Blue. Valorant Red will play at, I believe, 4 p.m. and Valorant Blue will follow at 5. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to check this out later on or rewatch some of our film, you can catch it at our YouTube channel, which is FS Tiger Esports, or you can check it out on our website, fstigeresports.com. This has been Langdon Giddens, and this is week number 2 of preseason. Thank you so much, and have an